Come out here.
Hello. So this is my senior thesis piece. It's called Existential Accumulation. It's a kind of response to gosh, it's been a while since I've talked about this. So I created this as a piece to kind of think about my own personal histories and how experience and things people say to you, things people teach you, things that you tell yourself, things that you see become woven into the fabric of your identity and who you are and how you present yourself in this world. And so I used a variety of techniques, including like multiple layers of substances and including wax, plaster, lots of paper mache, ash. It's all built on top of a steel and wire skeleton that I sculpted. So as this was kind of like a personal growth journey and reflection, I wanted to encourage the viewers to like join in that story. And so I added this participatory element where people who wanted to could, as the note says, please write a formative experience, positive, negative, or neutral, on a slip of paper, roll it tightly, and feed it to the figure. So you roll it up, drop it in figure's mouth, and it goes down a tube and collects in this jar in the chest. And once it fills, it's already been filled once already, I burn the contents and add it to the pile of ash in the hand, and to be added to the rest of the stories that have been already processed and reduced and digested. And then this hand, it's holding a candle that has been like kind of repeatedly burnt down, as you can see, with all of the dripping wax that is extended over the body, to kind of talk about this idea of like the energy and consumption of energy that emotional processing takes, and like I guess how hard it is to think about some of those heavy life experiences and histories, and how it's necessary, and also like how shedding light on uncertain things of like your own identity or others can be energy consuming. Yeah, and so I wanted to create this interior space kind of to think about specifically how environment reflects upon individual and how individual reflects upon environment and how they affect each other. So I wanted to create this kind of room that the materials felt similar to the figure. So I built these molding pieces in the window and coated them in plaster, wax, and ash, as I did for the outer surface of the figure. And to create this really drippy, kind of oozy, surreal feeling of accumulation. And so I thought a lot about things that accumulate naturally and kind of pile little particles that pile on top of each other over time and sediment. So I thought about icicles and stalagmites, and of course ash and candle wax. I thought about skin cells, I thought about snow, I thought about fallen leaves, like things that all these things that occur naturally and kind of grow and create these amorphous natural forms and shapes. And so I took a lot of inspiration from that. I also took a lot of inspiration from my dreams personally, because that's where a lot of my kind of deep emotional processing and thought happens, where for me, and also it like brings back a lot of memories, and that kind of surreal feeling of being in a space that is not that feels not quite right. Like there's something that's a little bit off. And so for me in my dreams, that is often comes across in terms of color or lighting, or a scarcity of actual substance in a place. I wanted it to feel odd and kind of empty. And also the black and white checkered flooring is also a common theme that like comes up in my dreams for me personally. Like I don't really know why, but I like will often have these checkerboard floors. And also the feeling like you're rooted to the spot and you can't move your feet and you're kind of trudging. And so I wanted to communicate that with the bottom of the figure. And then in terms of like the overall just like shape and formation of the figure, I wanted it to feel kind of tired and but also like waiting in a way, to have this variation of emotion. Like I didn't want it to be like gruesome, but I didn't want it to necessarily be comfortable. And kind of thinking about, and not fully formed. I wanted it to feel like it was being in the process of being formed and layered upon, which is why I wanted the addition of the ash to be throughout the process as I burn the contents.